Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys to living your best life. And it's freedomthroughastrology.com. I'm your astrologer. My name is Donald Patak. There's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. I want to talk a little bit about what I call the keys to the reading, because I do read a little bit different than mainstream astrologers. First of all, I use sidereal astrology, also known as the visible sky. Ancient times, the astrologers were also astronomers, so the two were linked. And so going back to that ancient tradition, a lot of what I do is actually based more on what I believe the ancient traditions are. So first of all, visible sky. So you're going to hear me talking about the sun being in Pisces and then moving into Aries this week. It's because that's where it actually is. Secondly, I'm using the natural sizes of the constellations. There are astrologers who make every constellation the same size. I'm not one of them. Virgo is huge. Aries is kind of small. They're all over the place, which is good. I'm fine with that. I use astrological midpoints. Excuse me. The boundaries of the constellations are drawn by the IAU, and they seems that they just drew them arbitrarily. I follow the practice established by Athens Shementi, where he looked at the zodiac belt. Last bright star in this constellation, first bright star in this constellation that's in the zodiac belt, figured out the halfway point with some creative geometry. Boom. I use them. I think it works a lot better. In the ancient times, there were 13 signs. And my book here is called The Lost Zodiac by Catherine Tennant. And she does talk about how there was a 13th sign called a Fucus between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So it's the wounded healer. The sign is that, or the symbol is that of a man holding a snake by the head and the tail. Snake in ancient times symbolized knowledge. So this is the knowledge to heal yourself of the wounds of a specific wound that you have, so you can heal others with the same wound or help them heal. What I'm reading for you are the weekly transits. These are the universal lessons for everybody. So everyone's facing these opportunities, or everybody's getting these lessons this week, however you want to call it. We're all getting these lessons. This is what everybody's kind of going through in the collective. It will be affecting people's charts differently because their houses are going to be all over the place. But just be aware of it. And last but not least, I read what is called evolutionary astrology, which says the signs, the planets, even the houses are teachers. There's lessons for us to learn. And when we focus on learning those lessons, that's how we grow, that's how we change, release karma, and become the better version of ourselves. And this is the transit report for April 15th through the 21st, 2024. Let's start with the moon, our emotional energy. It starts in Gemini. Curiosity works through Cancer, nurturing, expressive Leo, wanting to be seen. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, people want a little appreciation. Let them have it. And then on the weekend, it enters Virgo, good old practical Virgo. Time to reflect. Okay, how am I doing this week? The sign changes. We have two sign changes. Mars enters Pisces, the spiritual warrior, and the sun enters Aries. Okay, time to stop meditating, get up and start doing. We have one major transit this week. Jupiter and Uranus will be conjunct or joined together this week and a good chunk of next week. So, be a very good opportunity there, and I will take some time to explain that. Planets active this week. All the inner planets are active this week. Mercury, while retrograde, is still making transits or aspects to planets. Venus, Mars, and Sun all doing their stuff. Pull this down. And this is our overview of the week. And you can see it starts out quiet and then it builds. So it's a crescendo. Yeah, okay. I used to play French horn and a little guitar, so I'm familiar with musical terms. So it starts out kind of quiet and then just builds to the end of the week. So there you go. It really starts to pick up. If we're going to say it's going to be picking up Wednesday into Thursday, 17th into the 18th, that's when things really pick up. Okay. So let us begin. This is from Saturday, but it'll be on Monday nonetheless. This will be the final time of this because it's going to have a little sign change on Monday. The moon is in Gemini. Hold on a second. Get my notes. information. So emotionally, you're ready for some new learning, some new information, some new ideas. Time to ask questions, even if it's just to clarify what you know and make sure that you're on the right path. Failing that, talking too much or not even listening to what people are telling you or not paying attention to the information you're being given as a defense against learning. And it's going to lead down the road, it can create problems for you. So be open to these new information and ideas, be listening. And also on Sunday, Mercury, planet of learning and communication, is retrograde. That's what that RX stands for. It's retrograde, so this is a time of reflection on learning and communication. Are you learning? How are you learning? Are you communicating? Are you taking time to speak? And how are you speaking? How are you listening, paying attention? And this is conjunct Chiron. Chiron's the asteroid of healing. So what are you learning about healing? And how are you healing your ability to learn and communicate? I think that's very important. And in Pisces, Pisces is can be about spirituality. This is solitary practice. Excuse me. It can be seeing things from a higher perspective and different perspectives. So reflect on healing of the past, looking at it from different perspectives. What have you learned? And what knowledge have you gained so that you can use it? You know, life isn't about trivial pursuit. It's about doing and being, and so being healed. Have you learned what your true healing abilities are? And are you practicing them as well? Falling into the shadow. Each teacher, each planet has a high road and a low road. So the shadow means you're missing the lesson. You can slip into unconsciousness by choosing not to heal, deepen the wounds by slowing your ability to learn and communicate, by not paying attention and not listening. That can actually deepen the wounds and make them worse. Okay, the computer's not touchscreen, but the tablet is. Monday, this is going to be the buzzword for quite some time. Uranus and Jupiter. My friend Maria calls Uranus Uncle Dave. And she can. This is a long transit. As you can see, it goes from the 15th through the 26th. So this is a long transit. Jupiter is about seeking and finding opportunity and being open to opportunities. And Uranus is about you being your authentic self and you being an individual, not who society tells you to be and who you have to be, but who you truly and really are at heart. And in Aries, it's about having the courage and finding the courage and being assertive. So there are opportunities for you to assert your individuality and your authenticity. Be open to opportunities and surprises that speak to who you really are, your true identity and your authentic self. Have the courage to honor them. When these opportunities show up, embrace them, take them. That's what the lesson of Aries is having that courage. So having the courage to take the opportunity to be your authentic self. In the shadow, you can become wildly rebellious or conforming to the expectations of others. Uranus does have that over-under. The over is becoming wildly eccentric, just doing things to get a reaction from people, or under. The under is selling out and falling into society's expectations. And the over and under of Jupiter can overextend itself and think that an opportunity, what something that looks like a great opportunity is, really isn't. So it can see things, opportunities where there are none, or it can underestimate itself and sell itself short and not want to take those risks and take those actions. So be careful about that. Underestimating yourself and settling for too little, or overestimating yourself, thinking that you're bigger and better than you really are, can really turn people either which way. You can turn people off. So that's going to be almost the next 2 weeks, the next better part of 10 to 11 days. And on Monday, later in the day, the moon enters Cancer. So there's time for some TLC, a little Mondays are always a little challenging for everybody. It's usually the beginning of the work week. Give yourself a little TLC and a little bit of self-care. Okay. Be open to healers and healing. So Cancer can be about nurturing and taking care of yourself. Do make sure you take those opportunities. It's also tax day. So do make sure that that's taken care of. The shadows, playing the victim or living up your wounds is taking a path. It can lead you down a path of loneliness. People aren't interested in whiners. Let's be honest about it. Cancer can also be very highly defensive. After all, it's the crab. It's got that shell, that armor, and it's got those claws to pinch people with and be snippy. So be careful about being overly sensitive and overly defensive and taking swipes at people who don't deserve it. All right, Tuesday. On the 16th, Venus, planet of relationships, being open to receiving help from other people. Also, a little bit of rest and relaxation and creativity is conjunct the North Node. The North Node is your evolutionary intention for this lifetime. For everybody, it's currently transiting Pisces, and in Pisces, this is about again seeing things from a higher perspective. Excuse me. Hold on a second. My cats have been going after each other, and last fight, I did not want to stick my hands in between the two of them, so I had to yell real loud, so my throat's a little less scratchy from that. But be open to realizing your relationships and seeing your relationships from a higher, different perspective or purpose. And how can these relationships help you achieve your North Node destiny? So on your birth chart, see where your North Node is and look at what the lessons of the North Node in that sign are. How can people help you achieve that? Be open to meditating on that, silent practices, learning from people how to meditate and things like that, how to be more creative, etc. So be open to that. How can they help you live your life's purpose and achieve your life's purpose and intentions? The shadow is falling into fantasies about your relationships, what they're trying and what they're trying to teach you and where they're trying to teach you, or to escaping the reality from where you really are. That's missing the mark by a mile. So falling into these fantasy relationships and thinking that people are who they aren't, or thinking that they're teaching you something that they're not, or they're helping you in some way that they're not. So be careful about that. It's Tuesday. Wednesday, and I double checked this because other people are saying different things, so I created a birth chart and tweaked the times, and it's like, bam, it's there. Wednesday, Mars enters Pisces. Mars here to teach you courage and assertiveness, and Pisces, and you can't get any more antithetical to Mars than Pisces, I don't think, but literally it's the spiritual warrior. So it's having the courage and the self-discipline in a way, but having that courage to do your spiritual practices and to learn about your own personal spirituality. And to I don't want to say this jokingly or flippantly, but the spiritual warrior does make sense here. This is a time for you to Yoda and Luke Skywalker, so to speak. That's kind of the image there. Even Merlin and King Arthur, you have that mentor and the mentee type relationship. But and take action on it's time to have courage to take action on your spiritual growth. My notes here: to have the courage to step up and calm down. Have the strength to meditate, be still. Pisces can be a time of being alone. How does that learning to be alone strengthen you and help you develop strength? Let's see, falling into fear, because Pisces can be about fantasies, and Mars, the shadow of Mars, is fear. So falling into fear and escaping to fantasies is missing the opportunity. Mars can be overly aggressive and angry. And I come from the fundamentalist church. God bless them, someplace else, not around me. But the phrase that came to mind when I was thinking about the other shadow is a spiritual crusade, trying to force your beliefs on other people. As that's a mistake too. This is having the courage to learn about your own spiritual practices and practice them privately. And let's take a step. And later on Wednesday, this comes into play because it's in a sextile. It's the first sextile here to Jupiter in Aries. So, and again, Mars is having courage, Jupiter to see opportunities. So have the courage to seize these opportunities. So if an opportunity does come to you, step up to it. Look for opportunities to reach out and grow. Look for victory. Know that it's possible. Expect miracles. They do happen. Be a wonderful thing. You know, they do happen. Miracles never stop. We just explain them away using science when we can. Or the shadow of Pisces, deny them. The shadow here, over, the over and under is be careful of inflated schemes or underestimating yourself, or being high-handed. It could come across as being cruel, so being overly pushy and aggressive could come across the wrong way. Underestimating your strengths and abilities and settling for less than you really deserve. That could come into play here, as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Not getting anything else. Okay. Also on Wednesday, you want to talk about a power-packed day here. Later in the day, the moon enters Leo. The moon is your emotional self. And Leo, it wants to be expressive, be seen, and be appreciated. Being told good job, not going to mean anything to you. Hey, I really liked it when you did blah, blah, blah. I felt, that really did this for me, and I, whatever, having people appreciate you. So this is going to be through Saturday. So this is a willingness to stand up, be vulnerable, be seen so you can be appreciated. It's time to express it yourself and be appreciated. Look for the spotlight and an opportunity to shine and show yourself and show off your abilities and how your abilities can help other people. I'm reading a lot about the hero's journey, and it's kind of that type of a journey. It's that type of a thing, helping other people. That there's the hero, and then there's the mentor helping other people. It can be something like that a little bit. And also being willing to receive help from other people so that you can be appreciated more. And on Thursday, we still have that Uranus conjunct Jupiter. Well, that actually happens more on Thursday. My cat is trying to play with the computer screen from the side. Not gonna work there, buddy. Kidding. So having the courage to be your authentic self. And Mars does rule Aries, so that does fit into things a little bit. So Mars, again, that spiritual warrior, having the courage to be your authentic self and be your true spiritual self. That's gonna be in play. Find the courage to be yourself and break free from the path. Authenticity can take you to a higher level in life and help you to see things from a higher level and a higher perspective. Just heard Kit hiss means somebody's near her she doesn't like being around. That poor kitten gets beaten up so much. Good thing I watch out for her. And the shadow is be careful of being high-strung, headstrong, and foolish, or falling into conformity out of fear and trying to escape the pain of being a phony. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, be careful and falling into fear, falling into conformity, or being angry and eccentric. Those are going to be turnoffs. And this is your kitten commercial. This kitten only seems to respond to Buddy for some reason. I don't know why. Got a wonderful coat. It's a short hair. It's a short hair. It's got a really wonderful coat. I wish the lighting were better here, but my eyes are bothering me. So got it kind of dark. And on Thursday, Mercury retrograde is conjunct Venus in Pisces. Pause. Where's the pause? Come on, up. I got to separate two cats. I apologize for that. Kitten toes have not been very friendly lately. So let's go back to this. Mercury retrograde, reflecting on your thinking, learning, and communication, conjunct Venus and Pisces. Venus is about relationship, receiving help from other people, how you interact with them, how you work with them. It's also about rest and recreation. And it can also be about creativity. I think that ties in well there. So, this is reflecting on your relationships with people and how you're communicating and listening to them. Are you? And look at it from a higher perspective. You can look at it from where you are. And of course, we're all perfect in this and doing great, and the problem's the other person. Well, sometimes, I admit I don't listen very well sometimes, and I've ignored to help, whatever, blah. I'm human like everybody else. But this is highlighting your ability to communicate with other people and to look at it from a higher perspective and a different perspective. Are you really listening to people? Are you really communicating what you want to communicate to people? Are you mincing words? Um, Reflect on your relationships, creativity. What could you learn from them? How are you listening and paying attention to what people are telling you or wanting to tell you? The shadow is talking at people mindlessly and uselessly, honestly, or that endless drivel of small talk that just annoys. There are people who just like me. I don't like small talk. I'll be honest. And small talk can be a turnoff from people. So it's how well do you really know people or think you know people? Are you actually hearing what people are telling you, or are you just listening for what you want to hear? Be careful of that. So reflect. A very strong time to reflect on communication. This is only a 2-day transit. Mercury is moving back as a fast mover, and so is Venus. Both of them move very fast. So it starts on the 18th, exact early on the 19th, and late on the 19th. I misspelled late with two E's, and the autocorrect was latte. So Venus could leave on the late on the 19th with a latte. I don't know. Okay, this is another kitten. This is Shadow ran out of my house, and I'm not sure where she is, but this is her baby. This is Ghost. Looks just like Shadow. You want to get down, buddy? There you go. Let you sit on my lap. Yeah. So that's about reflecting on your relationships and your communication. How well are you speaking? How well are you learning? What are you learning? Are you listening? That's Thursday. Friday, calm day, so to speak. Yeah, right. Saturday, Venus conjunct Chiron in Pisces. So Venus, relationships. It can be about how you store and relax yourself. Also, like I say, your creativity. And Chiron, healing. Like so, this can be and in Pisces, this being more receptive. Uh, Pisces is about seeing things from a higher perspective or from different perspectives. So seeing or how you heal relationships in a different way. Some relationships, the best way to heal them is just to let them go. Other relationships, might be okay to suck up and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake." So this is learning. I'm not learning per se, but this is about healing relationships and restoring. Can be restoring relationships. Also, and learning to be able to see things from a different perspective. And Pisces is about seeing things from a different perspective. Um, Venus and Pisces can also be a time of being alone. So it can be learning to be alone. And just because people aren't talking to you, maybe that's just where the relationship is right now. That's okay. We don't have to talk to people every single day of the week. Falling into the shadow can result in a deeper wounding by tearing open the old wounds in relationships and then trying to escape the situation. Pisces is all about escapism and numbing things, or playing the victim. Pisces can play the martyr, the role of the martyr and the victim all too well. So that's the shadow there. And we also have, this is going to get interesting because this is the end of Sun in Pisces. So this transit is actually going to start in Pisces and finish in Aries. And I'm going to read it that way. So Sun in Pisces is squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So this is the first square. So this is a challenge. And think of it as a stepping stone. Think of this as a stepping stone. This waxing cycle is a stepping stone. You're climbing to the top of the ladder, which would be the opposition. So this is that first challenge. And the sun is your ego, it's yourself. You came here to learn how to have a healthy ego. And Pluto's about transformation. So this is about the journey of transforming your ego. And the square is the challenge of doing that. And I think my voice just cracked again. Puberty for the who knows how many different times. Okay, Ghost, I'll scratch you. Just wait right there. Okay, buddy. So, and Pisces is about transcendence, seeing things from a higher perspective. And Pluto is doing the work of transforming. So Pluto is helping you in this first part to see how you can transform and the possibilities of transforming, the ways of transforming. As the sun moves into Aries, where it's learning courage, this now goes from seeing to doing. So when the sun moves into Aries, it's the courage to do the work of transformation. So this is really good that this is happening. So you're getting an opportunity to see what's possible, and then immediately, with Pluto's help, Pluto's a wonderful, helpful planet to work with. Because his goal is to help you transform and rise, to help you transform and become the better version of yourself. That's the goal of Pluto. So Sun in Aries is having the courage to be yourself, to learn courage, learn assertiveness, and Pluto is doing that transformational work of helping Capricorn, climb that mountain. Let's get ready to do that hard work and do that work of you learning to be who you are, and having the courage about that. So that is really powerful. Be careful of a deeper wounding or victimization. It is possible also to inflict your wounds on others and even do so in a more deep manner. Also trying to escape transformation and not participate in it. And then as it falls into Aries, as it does fall into Aries, that fear of transformation and hiding and trying not to do it or wanting not to do it and falling into cowardice and then deeper wounding. So and like I said, this is a square. So if you think of this as a stepping stone, you successfully navigate this can lead to a much higher transformation, take you up to the next level. Failing it, you fall back. You got another time around the sun to learn this lesson. Do you want to go to the next grade or do you want to be held back? Like I said, it starts in Pisces, goes into Aries. Saturday, the moon enters Virgo. Very powerful when you look at the previous transit that I was talking about. The moon is your emotions, and Virgo's seeing how you can improve yourself and make yourself better. The full moon will be in Virgo with the sun in Aries, moon in Virgo, and that's going to fall into the end of that square too. That'd be like a really cool podcast too. My voice would just hold up long enough to be able for me to do these things. Yeah, reference work at the library. I really need a new job. Moon entering Virgo. So it's seeing how you can improve yourself and make yourself better. What skills do you need to improve? Where do you need to improve? What are your skill sets need better? And what information can help you improve and be better? Little humility, self-reflection, where you can get better. Opportunity for responsibility. And this is you stepping up to the plate for yourself. And falling into the shadow and is falling into worry and overwhelming yourself with worry. And Virgo can be a bit of a control freak as well and trying to control others and then becoming extremely self-critical to the point of rendering yourself useless. You have two cats trying to climb on, And on Sunday, And I checked this out. Some people have it on the 20th. I created birth charts on the 20th, and it really didn't enter until the 21st. This is the infamous precession of the equinox, where the zodiac belt shifts a little bit more every year, so that we're moving towards the age of Aquarius, et cetera, et cetera. So it really, on my software, it didn't enter until the 21st. So the sun enters Aries. The sun is your ego, and you came here to learn how to have a healthy ego. So it's the courage to learn how to have a healthy ego. My personal example is I am a Taurus, so it's learning to have a healthy Taurus ego and to be that chill pill self and find peace, etc. But it's learning to have courage and assertiveness, learning to stand up for yourself in a respectful manner. And this means that at the end of, at the end of the interactions, you feel respected, and so doesn't the other person. Falling into fear can lead into explosions of anger and intimidation and arguments. Bad. Or refusing to shine is a sign of cowardice and lead to discouragement. The sun, it can go supernova or it can fall into a black hole and be a dark star. I've heard different terms about it, but there's the over and under. Over is that supernova leading to argumentation and all sorts of problems and negatives, and the under is becoming that dark star, not wanting to shine and caving into other people's expectations. And that is our week. Up. And if you do go to my website of freedom through that with a that's through with a U, so freedomthroughastrology.com, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I do have links there, so you can jump there and find and follow me. I'm also on this place called the Digital Soul Space, which is a privacy focused, bully free. The time I've been on, I haven't been harassed once, and it's really cool. Spiritual website. Think of it as like it's like Facebook, but it's only about spirituality, and it covers all different modalities. I mean, people get great discussions on tarot. I know I do astrology, and there are other astrologers on there, but if you're into crystals and tarot and oracle cards, Native American and other spiritual traditions, mediumship, it's a really cool place to go and ask questions, and the people are great to get help from. And let me do this, and let me go here. And there have been changes on the site, finding, and so yeah, a little bit more. There's still more work to do, but the site has changed. Quick six reading. If you want to see how your chart changes, order a quick six reading. I read 6 points, and I'm making the flow. And I was actually told this is really nice, and they like the way it is. If you wanted to get readings done, what order should you get them done in? What would be good? Understanding your birth chart using 13 signs in the visible sky and evolutionary astrology, past life or karma. If you believe in past lives, I can tell you the past life and the lessons that are about the past life and the lessons that are repeating in this lifetime for you to heal. There are people who are one and done. I tell you the special lesson. The quick pick is short for quick picture, where I combine these two into one reading. The second set of keys, horoscope, the life cycle. And in this, I'm looking at like natal Jupiter to transiting Jupiter, natal to transiting of the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, and the nodes. So you can see where you are in your lifetime and what lessons that they're offering specifically. I used to try to do that in the yearly forecast, and it gets lost in the shuffle. And I've done this for a number of people as a standalone, and they're like, that is so powerful, and they gain so much clarity. So I just made it a separate reading. I can do it as part of the yearly horoscopes, where I look at the major lessons for the year. I don't try to read everything. I look at the transits that span months and months and months, so you can focus on them. I do quarterly, which is 3 months at a time, and we look and we focus on the shorter lessons that happen within a shorter block of time that don't necessarily belong. Covering them in the year is they can get lost in the shuffle, but covering them in the quarter is where they really belong. And then I have my monthly horoscope, which I like to read new moon to new moon, because that's where the word month comes from. It's a cycle of the moon. I like to do that. Oh, I forgot about this. I was asked about the year. Well, yeah, we missed January 1st. Um, I've in my history classes, not every January 1st is tax season. Okay, let's be blunt. January 1st, December 31st is a tax year. My friend who's a Native American, in his culture, they start on December 21st. I do that for him. A friend of mine says my year starts on my birthday. So I do it on their birthday. There are people who use the spring equinox. We can negotiate what that starting year time is. I'm not fixed to January 1st, December 31st. I go where the energy flows, literally. And then I have my packages, and I've got to get the other ones up here so you can get your look at the descriptions and get them deeper. But I do a big picture, which is the birth, karmic, yearly, and life cycle, 4 seasons. I add 4 quarterly readings, and then through the year or through your year, which is all the above plus 13 monthly horoscope readings. These all come at when you buy a package, they all come with a discount, a 10% built in. Through the year, gets a little bit more built in. But yeah, so there you go. A lot of stuff there. That's the site. Sorry for taking too long. If you click on subscribe, that's your newsletter. Once a week, I send out a newsletter. And during special events, I give discounts. You get a once a week newsletter from me, major astrological events, an insight, exclusive subscriber only discounts. If I'm doing a live event, where I'll be and when. Want to book an appointment? Scheduling is in here. You can schedule. And the way you get your readings is you order a birth chart. You're going to get a recording from me that you can watch a couple of times. And then when we get together, you can sit down and say, hey, tell me more about her. I've got these questions. So the time that we're spending together isn't you listening to me to read your horoscope or read your chart. It's about you gaining a deeper understanding, which people are telling me is awesome. And I feel it's more useful to you as well. You can order recordings from me. I'm really going to fix that up. And last but not least, I have a blog, and you can see the transits on there, and I pick transits and take them more deeply. So there you go. There's that. And again, I do encourage people to sign up for that newsletter, just to get more information, etc. So let's go here. Slideshow, current slide. So follow Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, the Soul Space. It's a great place to hang. Thank you. Like, follow, and share. And remember, in the visible sky, your life changes. So when you align with the sky, expect a better life. Thank you very much and have the best week possible.